This is a sports catastrophe production. Hey there, ho there, it's Jeff Cutter Down and welcome you to another sports catastrophe birthday boy. And the birthday boy for today, July the 10th, is a Montreal Expos legend who was one of only two players to have never retired by the Montreal Expos before they went to Washington and became the Washington Nationals. He played 21 years for 4 different teams, spanning a lot of times with Montreal and the Cubs, and of course, and some actual play with Florida and Boston. He was an 8-time NL All-Star, the Rookie of the Year in 1977 for the NL MVP in '87. And he's amazing. Only one of 8 players to have 300 runs, 300 stolen bases career. The only problem was that Dawson had knee problems because of the artificial surface at Stade Olympique. He looked pretty good and all that. He's an Expos legend who set Expos records for career games, at bats, runs, hits, doubles, triples, home runs, RBIs, you name it. He had him until Vladdy Guerrero basically came in the picture. Dawson was inducted into the Baseball Hall of Fame in 2010. So Andre the Hawk Dawson today is 68 years old. Dawson was picked in the 11th round of the 1975 MLB draft and made his debut September 1976 for a very woeful Montreal Expos squad that was playing out the spring at Jerry's Park before headed to Stade Olympique. In 1977, he was an everyday outfielder for the Expos at .282 with 19 home runs and 21 stolen bases. He was awarded the 1977 NL Rookie of the Year, beating out Steve Henderson of the New York Mets. Dawson had the power and speed, and he was big for the Expos in their late 70s, early 80s dominance of the NL East, only getting to the playoffs once because of some interference. Dawson had 8 Gold Glove Award. Got his first Gold Glove Award in 1980 and had 7 more. Anyway, Dawson would be close to NL MVP voting in Montreal in 1981 and 1983. But Mike Schmidt and Dale Murphy ruined him. Dawson played over 1,400 games with the Expos, which was the 4th highest in franchise history, and had basically set record for home runs and RBIs at that time in the 80s. He actually still owns the Expo career record for sac flies with 71. Under the Hawk, Dawson did his job for the Expos. His number 10 retired by the Expos. Unfortunately, though, his time in Montreal ended with the start of collusion between the major league owners, just trying to drive down salaries and all that. I mean, understandably, I know why they would have tried to cut down salaries, but basically players were just not too happy about it. Andre Dawson wanted to play for a team that had natural grass as their home field, and he didn't get offers because of the collusion. Dawson wanted to go to the Cubs because he thought the Cubs could need him. Unfortunately, they said that they wanted Brian Dayett in right field, and that they thought that Andre Dawson couldn't help the Cubs be a better team. But Dawson persisted. He went to Cubs spring training in Mesa, Arizona with a blank check. Dallas Green thought it was a dog and pony show, but he decided to reach an agreement for $500,000, second lowest on the team among regulars. He would get bonuses if he did not go on the disabled list by the All-Star game and if he made the All-Star team. He made both and earned an extra $200,000. And the Cubs actually wrote in $100,000 bonuses if Dawson was MVP of either the League Championship or the World Series. But they didn't add a clause for NL MVP. Of course, the Cubs didn't make the playoffs that year, and he didn't get those bonuses. But, surprisingly enough, with the Cubs getting his hopes sky high and proving it in right field by the Cubs and putting Brian Dayett on the back burner, Andre Dawson shocked a lot of people, hitting 49 home runs, which was tied for the most in the majors with Mark McGwire. Strangely enough, he was named league's MVP in one of the first ever player to be AL or NL MVP on a last place squad. The Cubs were terrible. They were the worst team in the National League at 76 wins. I mean, Dawson didn't turn around the Cubs' fortunes, but Dawson had a great individual season that got him that NL MVP trophy. Dawson would play 5 more years with the Cubs and was very popular. His career slugging percentage in a Cubs jersey is still 4th in highest in team history. And then late on, he was a free agent. The Boston Red Sox decided to sign him because he could attack Fenway Park's Green Monster. Unfortunately, he only played 121 games with the Red Sox and all that. But Boston decided to use him as a DH more so because, they're in the American League. They could use him as DH. Dawson would have knee problems and would play his final 2 years sparingly with the Florida Marlins. It's amazing and all that. Dawson was part of the front office when the Marlins won the World Series in 2003 and owned some restaurants and all that. Strangely enough, Andre Dawson entered the funeral business in 2003, investing in a funeral home, and actually became the owner and operator of it in 2008. Yeah, so he was hit hard by the COVID restrictions, obviously. Anyway, so Andre Dawson, strange he's in the funeral business. But anyway, Dawson finished his career of over 2,700 hits, 438 home runs, and 1,591 RBIs. He's one of 8 players to get 300 home runs, 300 stolen bases. The other guys, Barry Bonds, Willie Mays, Bobby Bonds, Roger G. Sanders. Wow, I didn't know that. Steve Finley, Alex Rodriguez, and Carlos Beltran. Dawson's number 10 was retired in 1997, although Rusty Staub wore number 10 as well. So, anyway, yeah. Dawson got lucky. In his 9th year of eligibility for the Hall of Fame, he got to the 75% mark that was earned. And Dawson's Hall of Fame plaque is with him in an Expos cap, which is fantastic and all that. However, Andre Dawson actually thought that he would be in as a Cub, saying that because the Cubs gave him the chance after the collusion problems and all that. Dawson would only play 6 years for the Cubs, but 5 of his All-Star appearances were with the Cubs. The Hall, I think, was trying to help the Expos out because, after the Expos lost their team, they kind of lost their identity. But Andre the Hawk Dawson still is a Montreal Expos legend. Believe it. Anyway, I'm Jeff Diamond. I do.